Numbers, numbers, numbers. I'm sure some of you guys probably hate it as much as me, but maybe you don't. And maybe it's a realization for me, since I'm trying to turn this business around, how important numbers are within my business. So I think what I've done before with the business is a lot of my spend has always been car boot sales. So what would happen is I would go to two car boot sales at the weekend, might withdraw a couple of £100, spend what I need to spend. The rest of the money goes back into my spending wallet and I'll take it to the next car boot sale. But as I've been moving on to a lot more different ways to source, including online, I think tracking your spend it's kind of highlighted to me how important it is what I will say. Beforehand, you kind of had a bit more control, I felt, because when you're spending cash, you have an idea, I feel, a bit more. When it's online, similar to if you go out to eat and you spend on credit card, it quickly adds up. So anyway, I've been having to think about managing my numbers a bit better. And let me talk about what I do currently, but I want your guys' advice. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a tax expert. We're not going to go into all of that. I'm just going to talk about that daily payout from eBay and where I allocate my money. Let me know in the comments what I'm missing because I want to learn what you guys do and how you do it. The joy of this, everyone does it a different way. There's going to be lots of people who do it a certain way, lots of people who do it another way. There's no rights or wrongs here. So what I'm talking about today is how I do it. I'm not telling you this is how you should do it, okay? So let me give you an example, and I'm going to keep it as simple maths as possible. Now, I always look at the eBay daily payout, so what money actually goes into my bank account every morning from eBay. And what I do at the moment is with the postage, I do my postage through eBay and the postage actually comes out of my funds. So I haven't got any postage fees coming out from my bank account like it used to. I've just got the money coming in from eBay. But that money is not all back into the business, and let me explain to you why. So if we use simple maths, okay, and we're going to say the payout today is £200. The way I do it at the moment is I allocate 25% to tax and VAT. Now you might be saying, James, you're not VAT registered, why are you doing 25%? What I'm doing is building up my tax pot. And what I'm going to say, it's not a sponsored video, but I use Monzo as a bank. I think it's great because they allow you to have different pots. So I do 25% that goes into the tax pot every single day. That's automatic. So as soon as any money comes into the account from eBay, it automatically deducts 25% and moves it into a pot, which I leave in there for when it comes to paying the tax at the end of the year. And obviously that will just continue to build up. So I do 25% there. I now have decided to do 25% towards, I've called it salary and bills, and also banked. Now this is where my bank account is going to hopefully go up as well, which I've never really had before. It's been very much a case of paying the business bills, paying myself a very basic salary, and that's what I do. I don't pay myself a crazy salary. I'm not living the good life, to say the least. But what I've decided to do now is 25% of that will go towards salary, bills, and to be banked. So I'm not going to share with you guys how much I need to earn to live. I think that kind of thing's personal. I don't mind sharing your numbers for the business. But I think that 25%, with the numbers I'm aiming to hit, will be enough for me to cover everything and hopefully grow the bank account, which is really important to me as well. That leaves 50%. So I need to know from you guys, do you have a budget for buying stock? Because that's surprisingly something I've never had before. If the money's in the bank, I've always said to myself, it's ready to be spent. I don't think that's the right way. So what I'm going to try and do now is allocate myself a 45% spend budget really. So out of that £200 that comes in, 45% of that will go into another pot, which is my sourcing pot, my spend pot, the money I can use for online, the money I can use for offline to buy stock. And remember, this is going to be an everyday thing, and this is just based on £200. If it's £100, it's going to be less. If I get paid £500, it's going to be more. So it's going to be 45% will go into that pot. That leaves 5%. 5% I'm going to start a savings account as well. So forget the money that I take out to pay the bills and stuff. I just want to build up a bit of a savings account, a bit of an emergency business account, I would say, more than personal savings. And that's for if I need to replace anything within the business. Say the label printer breaks on me, say the computer breaks on me, say the van needs some serious repairs. Hopefully over time, with saving 5% every day, we've got that emergency pot. So that's the way I'm going to do it now. Just have a bit more control on the finances coming in and going out of the business. And as I said before, I've not really had that control. Or maybe I felt I had the control, but I didn't really have it. So that's the way I'm going to do it. That's, as I said, based on a very simple math of £200, and it will change depending on the money coming in. But I'm really keen to know how you guys manage that. Do you use any business bank accounts that have different pots for you to save? Got to wait for the tumble dryer to finish. The joys of filming inside. Do you guys... Okay, yeah, what I was asking here, how do you guys do it? Do you guys have a pot for spend? Or do you see whatever money you've got in the business is ready to spend? And also, do you guys save at all from the business, or is everything reinvested? Now look, I know everyone's situation is going to be completely different. If you're doing this as a side hustle part-time, you have a full-time job, your full-time job might pay all your bills and all this eBay money might be reinvested back into the business. Amazing. If you are in a position where, probably where I was a couple of months ago, where everything has to go to your household bills, you can't really reinvest in the business, might be slightly different again. Another thing on numbers, and as I say, this is something I'm really starting to track a bit more. I'm going to get my head a bit more around my average cost of goods, because that's really important to me to find out what I'm averagely spending. It's so different going to a car boot compared to online, paying a lot more money at the moment, but making sure I'm getting that higher value stuff with the quicker sell through. But this Sunday, we're back to the car boot. And in a couple of months' time, we're back to the car boot every single weekend. So we're going to continue the online stuff, but we'll also be bringing them some lower stuff. So I'm really going to get my head around what my average cost of goods is. And I'm thinking about, this year I was kind of going to do the video at the start of the year and not really talk about the progression, not really talk about the growth, how much I'm up so far compared to where I was and all the rest of it. And last night I was thinking that maybe it is good for me to share this because I'm quite a transparent person. Would it be helpful for you guys to see my growth, hopefully, or to see the downfall, either or, but hopefully the growth, to see how I have potentially turned it around? Because I had a message last night on YouTube which kind of prompted this to say they're in a similar position to what I spoke about at the start of the year. Couple of thousand items in the store, a lot of it's low value, and they're finding that when things are selling, it's not worth their time. And like you guys know, I've been there, still coming out of that, but things are picking up. So would you guys like a monthly recap video where I come on and I just show my numbers? I just talk about numbers, talk about how many I've sold, what the ASP looks like, what the finances look like, etc., and what kind of stuff I'm sourcing. Maybe show you the best sale of the month, maybe show you some of the low sales in the month, maybe the successes, maybe the fails. Would you guys like to see that as a monthly recap? Just to follow my journey. Do you feel that would inspire you? Do you feel it'll be helpful to you? Or would you rather me just come at the end of the year with a video with the numbers and say, here's this year compared to this year, and hopefully you guys can be impressed with the growth? Let me know in the comments which one. No rights or wrongs answers. Hopefully you guys want to see the journey and continue watching. It's going to be fun, but what I will say, a little teaser, things are definitely looking up and I am super happy with where things are going. We're not out of the mess yet, but we're making strides to come out of the mess. So as always, appreciate your guys' support. Car boot sale video hopefully coming for you guys next week if I go on Sunday. Should be going Sunday, so look out for that one. See you soon.